Alright, based on what we have learned so far, we have another exercise example 2, which says animate the signal tower such as when the start button is pressed, this is the start button address. When the operation is started, this green light should be on. Okay. When stop is pressed, this red light should be on. If the emergency is pressed, this yellow light should be on. So emergency could be used by this yellow light indication, or this could be for maintenance purpose. All right. So I'm just giving you a small example of using emergency here, but you can also use this yellow light for maintenance or for any other alarming purpose. All right. So now we have 3 states in our animations. All right. So what would be the output? The output is the same as motor, let's say, but for the animation of these 3 stages, what would be the output? Because we have, in the last video, we have seen just 0 and 1. Now we have 3 states, 0, 1, and 2. Okay. So let's see how we can do that. So this is our motor. So let's first create the animation for signal tower. So let's go to the text and graphic list. So in the graphic list, we already have motor. So let's add a new one. Let's name it as tower. Press enter. Now in tower, we have value first, let's say 0. In 0, we need to have a tower here. So let's find the tower. So in the unified and modular, you can see signal tower. So when it is 0, 0 means, let's say 0 means it's stop. So let's take this graphic. This is with red light. Okay. Now with 1, let's name it as on. So let's take this green light. Okay. With 2, we want this to be yellow. Okay. So if there is any other value besides 0, 1, and 2, if there is any value for 3, if we add, and we can use this 3 for when all the lights are on or when all the lights are off, but we don't need as of now. Let's just stick to 0, 1, and 2. So with 0, it's red. With 1, it's green. With 2, it's yellow. Okay. So now let's copy this tower and come back to screen, paste it here. Need to resize it because it looks stupid. So this is just for demonstration purpose to understand how this animation works. So now I want to play with this appearance for a while. Let's make it transparent, no solid. Okay, now it looks good. Okay. All right, now what should be the logic? Let's see what we have in the logic. We need this motor here. All right, now when the motor is on, the tower should be green. Okay, so when motor is on, this should be green. When motor is off, this should be red. But if the emergency is pressed, this should be orange. Although the motor will be off, but this should be orange. All right, this is just to indicate emergency is pressed, or it can be used for other indications. It doesn't matter. So let's go back to the logic. So the logic says it has 3 states. Okay, so it should be given as an address, not bit address, but a byte address or more. All right, but we have to move value in a byte. Okay, so with 0 value, let me go back again. This is having, just need to check it. With 0, it was red, green, and yellow. Okay, so red, green, and yellow. So I'll go back here. So I will use a move command. Now it should be red when motor is off. So I will take an NC bit here, NC bit of motor. Now when motor is off, this should be red. So I will take a move block and I will move 0 here. Let's take MB0. All right, not take MB0 because bits are used here. Rewire, let's take MB10. Okay, so in MB10, if the motor is off, 0 will be moved. All right, so we need to take another branch here. Now when the motor is on, we need to move what? 0, 0. We need to move 1 because green was 1. Okay, so take another move command, and in this case we'll take 1, and here the same address, MB10. So when the motor is off, 0 will be moved to MB10, which means 0 was the graphic which was defined at 0. When motor is on, 1 will be moved. So let's see that again in the graphic list. So when 0 is moved, we have red light. When 1 is moved, we have yellow light. And for 2, we have orange light or yellow light. So when emergency is pressed, so we will take another bit here, and this is emergency. When emergency is pressed, we have to move to here. Now there is one confliction. When you press the emergency, motor will be off, and when the motor is off, 0 will try to move in the bit, and at that case emergency is also trying to move 2 in this bit. So we have to interlock that. So in that case I will use an NC contact here. This will be emergency. So when emergency is pressed, this will not try to move 0 because this will be open. Okay, so now you must be confused that emergency is NC always in the PLC, but we are not wiring the emergency switch in the PLC. We are using emergency on the HMI, so we consider that emergency as normally open button in the HMI. Otherwise it's normally closed switch in reality. So this you must take care of that. So let's download the logic of the PLC. Click load, and let's monitor it. Everything works fine. So right now the motor is off. You can see 0 is in MB10. Alright, let's go to the HMI, and we have to give it a tag. I forgot to give it a tag. Property window, general. This was tag 1. I need to confirm it. Yeah, this is tag 1. Okay. Here, let's give it tag 1. So this is tag 1. Let's download in the HMI. Overwrite, load. So this is loading, and now I can go back to my PLC, and let's see the animation now. Okay, I can move it. Alright, this part is more interesting. Alright, screen 0. So you can see initially, I hope you can find out, but I can see in my screen this red is illuminated. Okay, so when I press start, you can see this green is illuminated. In this case, let me check it once again. When the press start is pressed, this is moved with 1, and this I don't know if you can see this illumination, but here, oh, there is some problem. When you press start, this green is on. When you release, it's red. But why? Alright, we'll come to that later. Let's see. This is top emergency. Even with emergency, there's no graphic movement. Alright, let's see what mistakes we have done. I think the problem was here. This tag address is given as PLC tag of start. Alright, so we have to change it. So let's go back here and go to the PLC tag. In the default table, give this tag as MB10. Alright, now because this tag was duplicated, tag 1 before was start. So now the tag is correct. Let's download it again and see the results. So as I told you, tagging is very important. You have to make sure your tag name should not, conflict with each other. Otherwise, you may not see the desired results. Alright, so let's go back to my main logic and see the HMI here. I will start my screen 0. So this is right now red. So when I press start, so you can see this is now green. I hope this is a little bit illuminated. If I press stop again, this is red. Press start again, this is green. Now if I press emergency, let's press start. Now I press emergency. You can see this yellow is illuminated. Alright, this shows that emergency is pressed, so you can use this maybe tower light somewhere else in the screen where you don't have the emergency switch, or in case if you have emergency switch outside the HMI, a real emergency switch, you can also use that signal to actuate this yellow light here. Alright, if I release this emergency, this will go back to stop because motor state was stop before. So that's start. that's stop, and that's emergency. All right, so this was the exercise example. If you have any doubt in this video, you can for sure come back to me, and I would be happy to help you. Thank you so much.